Have you ever seen a single social media post send the entire entertainment industry into chaos? Because that's exactly what happened when Vivica A. Fox suddenly found herself at the center of a growing controversy involving two of the biggest names in hip-hop history, 50 Cent, Sean Diddy Combs, and a rumor so explosive that it immediately captured the attention of millions. At first, it seemed like just another piece of celebrity gossip, the kind of story that dominates headlines for a day before disappearing into the endless cycle of internet drama. But this time was different, because the people involved weren't just celebrities. They were cultural icons, powerful figures with decades of history, influence, and unfinished business. And once the story started spreading, there was no stopping it. Within hours, social media exploded. Fans began digging through old interviews. Commentators started connecting dots. Entertainment blogs rushed to publish updates. And suddenly, a mystery that nobody could fully explain became one of the most talked about stories online. The question everyone wanted answered was simple. What exactly was going on behind the scenes? To understand why this story became so massive, we have to go back years before the controversy ever existed. Back to a relationship that once dominated entertainment headlines. A relationship between Vivica A. Fox and 50 Cent. At the time, both were at the peak of their careers. Vivica was already an established Hollywood actress. She had appeared in major films, built an impressive reputation, and become one of the most recognizable faces in entertainment. 50 Cent, meanwhile, wasn't just successful, he was unstoppable. After the release of Get Rich or Die Tryin', he became a global phenomenon. His music was everywhere. His influence was growing rapidly, and his rise to fame seemed impossible to slow down. When the two began dating, the media couldn't get enough. Every appearance became a headline. Every photo became a story. Every public interaction attracted attention. From the outside, it looked like a perfect celebrity power couple. But behind the cameras, things weren't as simple as they appeared. Years later, Vivica would reveal something that surprised many people. Despite everything that happened between them, she still considered 50 Cent one of the most important relationships of her life. That's a remarkable statement when you consider everything that followed. Because their breakup wasn't quiet, it wasn't private, and it certainly wasn't smooth. According to Vivica, one of the biggest mistakes they made was allowing the relationship to become public too quickly. The more attention they received, the more pressure entered their lives. Friends got involved. Industry insiders got involved. The media got involved. Everyone seemed to have an opinion. And eventually, that constant spotlight began taking its toll. Then came the moment that changed everything: the breakup. But according to Vivica's version of events, she didn't learn about it through a private conversation. She learned about it from the radio. Imagine waking up one day and discovering your relationship has ended because someone else announced it publicly. That's the situation she claimed she found herself in. A friend called her. The news had already started spreading. 50 Cent was discussing the breakup publicly, and she was left trying to understand what had happened. Whether people agreed with her version of events or not, one thing became clear: the relationship was over. But the story wasn't, because even after they separated, their names remained connected. Over the years, interviews kept bringing them up. Questions kept resurfacing. Old emotions occasionally found their way back into public conversations. And every time that happened, the internet paid attention. Then came the comments, the songs, the interviews, the occasional public disagreement. At times, it seemed like the feud would never completely disappear. Yet despite all the tension, there was always something unusual about the dynamic. Neither side seemed capable of completely ignoring the other. Even years later, that history is important, Because when the recent controversy erupted, many people immediately remembered everything that had happened before. And suddenly, old stories became relevant again. Then came the moment that changed everything. A cryptic message. Short, vague, but powerful enough to trigger a social media firestorm. The post appeared to suggest knowledge of sensitive information involving both 50 Cent and Diddy. Immediately, speculation exploded. What information? What footage? What evidence? Nobody seemed to know. Yet everyone had an opinion. The internet did what it always does. It filled the gaps. Some people assumed the claims were serious. Others dismissed them instantly. But the uncertainty only made the story grow larger. Because mystery attracts attention, and unanswered questions create engagement. Every hour that passed generated new theories. Some were reasonable, others were completely wild. But all of them had one thing in common. They kept the conversation alive. Soon, attention shifted toward 50 Cent. People waited for a response. And if there's one thing 50 Cent has never been known for, it's staying silent. Eventually, he addressed the situation. Reports indicated that he strongly denied the claims and pushed back against the growing rumors. His supporters immediately rallied behind him. Many argued that the controversy was being exaggerated. Others believed there were personal motivations behind the accusations. Predictably, social media split into competing camps. One side defended him. The other side remained skeptical. And the debate became even louder. Yet while 50 Cent was speaking out, another major figure remained almost completely silent. Diddy. For days, people waited to hear his response. None came. That silence became its own story. Every hour without a statement generated even more attention. Some viewed it as a strategic decision. Others interpreted it as something more significant. Regardless of the reason, the lack of a response created even more curiosity. And curiosity fuels the internet better than almost anything else. Soon, the controversy grew beyond its original claims. The discussion expanded. Old rumors resurfaced. Past interviews were revisited. Previous controversies became part of the conversation. The story transformed from a single allegation into a much larger spectacle. News outlets covered every development. Content creators analyzed every detail. Comment sections turned into battlegrounds. And through it all, one fact remained unchanged. There was still very little confirmed information. That didn't stop the media frenzy. If anything, it accelerated it. Because modern celebrity culture doesn't always wait for evidence. Often, public perception forms long before facts arrive. A rumor spreads. A headline appears. A narrative develops. And before anyone realizes it, millions of people have already chosen sides. That's exactly what seemed to happen here. The controversy became larger than the evidence. Larger than the original claims. Larger than any individual involved. It became a story about influence, reputation, power, and the way information moves in the digital age. As weeks passed, the speculation continued. Some believed the entire controversy was overblown. Others insisted there was more happening behind the scenes. The truth remained unclear. And perhaps that's why the story attracted so much attention. People hate unanswered questions. They want certainty. They want conclusions. They want definitive answers. But real life doesn't always provide them. Sometimes stories remain unresolved. Sometimes mysteries stay mysteries. And sometimes the public is left trying to separate facts from assumptions. That's where this situation currently stands. A controversy built on rumors, reactions, history, and speculation. A story involving some of the most recognizable names in entertainment. And a mystery that continues to generate debate. Whether new information eventually emerges remains to be seen. But one thing is already clear. This entire saga demonstrates how quickly a single claim can transform into a global conversation. One post, one rumor, one allegation, and suddenly millions of people are paying attention. Because in today's world, attention moves faster than truth. And once a story captures the public imagination, it can take on a life of its own. The biggest question now isn't just whether the rumors are true. It's whether we'll ever know the full story. And until that day comes, the speculation will continue. The debates will continue. And the mystery will remain alive. So what do you think? Is this another example of celebrity gossip spiraling out of control? Or is there more to this story than we've been allowed to see? Let us know your thoughts below. Because sometimes the most interesting part of a story isn't what we know. It's what we don't.